Okay, we'll be streaming 2 tables of 25 mil zoom. Although I say streaming, but like I'm just recording it. Ace 9 definitely would have called it 3-bet, depends. This guy is likely a fish, this guy is likely a fish. Also limp, so sure. Do get a gut shot, so not that bad, but I'm definitely not gonna lead. I'm not gonna fold against this size though unless this guy does something weird. Yeah, just gonna fold this. Likely a fish. Let's see if we can find some interesting hands. And let's see if on Discord, where I'm streaming a session. I guess we call flop an ace, so definitely check call. There's no point raising this ace with this kicker. Kicker still doesn't play, so it doesn't really matter. We can block bet here. Or check call. I think I just check call. Easy raise here against the fish, like an ISO. Maybe jams, we'll see. Not that great a flop for us, but I think with the clubs we can actually check his back. Let's check his back for now. And let's see how much money we can get from him. Definitely gonna go for like a small sizing still. When a 5 hits, like he can definitely have like 7x. If he dunks into me, I'm definitely folding. I'd be surprised if he actually finds buffs. Wow, for one, I'm definitely calling. Yeah, sure. And this like bottom of my opening range, fish on the button, so definitely gonna. Definitely gonna open a bit wider here. Pocket tens. So fish opens, and then this guy 3-bets. Don't really have much sample on him. I think we just fold. Here we can actually go small, but it would suck to have to fold this hand. So I think I'm just gonna check. Although given that it's a big blind, he's definitely gonna have a lot of flushes. Really good hand card. We basically made the nuts. When he then bets into us, we're just gonna raise him. Doesn't need to be that big. He should not have a leading range here. I mean, it just reduces. I guess we can go big. Like if he has a king, we're basically want to maximize value from that, right? If he has like 8-6, he already had me. Like I'm just gonna pay it off, I guess. Like I don't know actually. Like if he jams here, do I really call? It's very hard for him to have like the bluffs, right? He's not jamming like king high flushes. He can have like jack king, which got there. Whoops, should have called it. Ah. Let's see what he had. He had the king. So didn't 3-bet ace king. Definitely mistake on his end. So we have a note on this guy, just that he's like a losing player. He goes small. There's no need to go like super big. Here we can just go small. It's a 4-bet pot. And I guess we check call. It really sucks. And it still sucks. Like he's gonna have so many hearts. He doesn't though. Just really suck a run out for me. Like I usually am like getting stacks, right? But ace is probably, and especially Days of Hearts, it's like one of the worst cards to come. Not for my range, but for my exact hand. Maybe I should have thought about it a bit more and just block bet. It's very unlikely. Although with the sizing I use on the flop, he's probably, maybe I should like have it here. With the sizing used on the flop against this size, you can just fold this from this position. People just aren't bluffing there enough, like in the small blind. Like there's no point in finding a balanced calling range if there's like no needs. But like here, this turn, like sure I do connect a bunch on the ace, but like I don't really make a lot of flushes. Because like the ace and the 10 are both a flush, so like for me to have a flush there is very unlikely. So because of that, I just like check range, right? Like ace king with a heart can check jam, stuff like that, but although maybe not, like there's just not a lot of equity now. So he has a small blind calling range versus under the gun in the past, so the fact that he 3-bets me here is like really weird. I'm just gonna fold this. Like I just don't see him bluffing there if he has a calling range in the small blind. Here I can 3-bet this, although the guy does seem to be in the tighter end, but like we have no sample size on him, so. Against this, we're just gonna call, although so far he has always 3-bet us. There's no point using this hand to 4-bet and get it in. Against this size, I guess his sizing is fine actually. Do I call this? Problem is that this is short stack, right? I probably have to call this in theory. I'm gonna fold it though. Like I probably have to call that though. Like in theory. Again, like how many times am I gonna get 3-bets? Ajax is an easy fold. I'm just looking at the stuff. Just making sure that like I can still use population reads and so on. Easy hand to play. What's my note here? He made 3-bets. So against this guy, so far he's been underfolding. So we actually size up. Because if he underfolds, like obviously we're gonna have like a really strong hand to do this with, and we can just size up. Because this is just pure value, right? He does find to fold, but so far like 37% fold is really small. I guess we just call this. We have a gut shot. If he checks and he has this low c-bet percentage, I'm just gonna check back. Interesting card. I think we can bet this. The question is which sizing. I think we want to apply a lot of pressure. Spade is not really believable for us, right? So I think we just check and give up. Probably could have gotten away with it. Maybe I should have. Like it's just super weird. Here in general we just c-bet small, c-bet often. Although I think I can check this hand for protection, like if I have queens and stuff, but like I think just entire range c-bet is just fine. It's not really important. We're gonna get check raised on, and if you have queens, we also go small. Like if he check raises me there, I mean, good luck to him, right? In general. Easy 3-bets. Like maybe the mean 3-bet, like I do note it, but sometimes it can just be like a one misclick thing. But it's hard to say, right? So far he hasn't 4-bet. I'm not gonna go too much out of line with his hand. Nope, not playing. 8-7 off, king 2's off. Oops. Now you saw my entire outing, my pop-up at least. Like it contains a lot of information. I have spent a lot of time in it, so I can mix this sometimes in between the 3-bets. Given that it's a vision and a short stack, I don't really like 3-betting. I also don't really like calling though. I think I have to, just because of the odds given, but I'm not a big fan of it, given that this guy calls. It checks around, so it checks to me. I'm just gonna bet super small. I don't want like a free card peeling off. Like it's very unlikely that they're gonna start bluffing. And then when this 4 peels off, it's just check folds, right? So yeah, queen. Here people generally overfold anyway, or they just call. So if they just call, I can easily just 3-bet over calling. The reason for that, so let's actually talk about that a bit. So when we 3-bet and they 4-bet us a bunch, then these type of hands don't really want to 3-bet because they just have too much equity. And when we then get 3-bet or 4-bet, so yeah, when they just call or 3-bet instead of 4-betting, sorry, then we lose a lot of equity, right? If you have to fold hands like this, so we don't really want to 3-bet them then. Obviously, like in GTO, it's a mix and so on, blah blah blah. But like just thinking about it, like if people are 4-betting a lot, we don't really want to be doing this. We just want to call, see flop in position, play like a small pots and see what we can do about it. But when they then like just call, we can obviously just 3-bet. Don't have to pay rake. Don't have to pay rake, and if he calls, like obviously we still have position in a 3-bet pot. With a decent hand, like he's still gonna have to continue with like worse hands. Two fishes in the blind, I'm gonna open this. Normally it's like a fold, I think. So yeah, here this hand, like I think in general I just call. Ace queen off against from under the gun. I generally fold, but like when this happens, it's like really weird. This guy seems to be overfolding, and this guy is a fish. Well, I'm just gonna fold though. Like I should probably still fold this, like because this. I mean, we flop really well though. I mean, this cold call, right, from this guy. Sure, it's like only 8, but I think if he bets small, I can raise. Just do really need to deny a lot of equity. Like if all the money goes in. I think we just bet super small here. We can still check, but like our hand is just really strong. He has to call with like checks with the heart and so on. And here I think we can block bet. Like there's no way he raises here unless he has like pocket queens. King check of hearts maybe, I guess, but he could have like ace 3, but he can definitely call with like worse hands, right? So I'm saying like king queen is like very likely for him to call us off with. But in general, ace queen off under the gun, being out of position really sucks. I generally play this 4-bet or fold there, and ace queen suited I'm continuing with, but given that there was like a fish that's cold calling, I definitely have more incentive to actually call there. Let's open. Um, 9-10 in general I don't really like, especially these positions. It's also on the bigger end, it should be like 7.5. I'm just gonna fold this. I know it's nitty, but like people generally don't bluff enough with their 3-bets in those positions, so yeah. Here we can actually go small. 10-7 is an easy call. Not having backdoors here kind of sucks. Ace is definitely good for his range. I don't believe this guy. I mean, he does have a really small check raise percentage on the flop though, 8.7%, so it's an easy fold. Like if he has like any type of decent amount of check raise, then I might peel and go for bluff later on. Although I don't really have that great backdoors, I still think like it's a peel sometimes. Here against a small blind call, can we get better to fold? Probably not, but like if he calls with 9x, we definitely still have overcards, we always have outs. If he raises, we can use call once and see what comes. We do get a gutter. He can have like king jack, right? If he checks to us after a check raise, I think we can just realize our equity. A queen is actually really good. We make a pair, we get showdown. If he bets into us, I'm folding because he can definitely have like his X. And do this with. Let's see what he has. He has pocket fives. Yeah, definitely a mistake on his end. Here it's then check, check, check. Still checking, half showdown, and we actually have the same hands. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe fives he has to turn into bluff, but at least have like 5 clubs. I think having the spades is okay as well, but like, yeah, maybe fives isn't that bad, but I would prefer having like a club. Like on spades runouts, he has to bluff this river, by the way. Like on turn and river, I think he just bluffs. Seems better, right? Definitely a good board for us. I think we can just get away with betting small very often. Check, check, and then we basically call a river and get shown a jack, sure, but whatever. Let's isolate. Always want to play against fishies. When we get 3-bet from our isolation, it is a really small size. This is like the bottom of our isolation range anyway, so we're just gonna fold this. Easy folds, ace-5 suited. We're definitely gonna open. I'm curious if this guy is gonna 3-bet or not. So far he has been 3-betting quite often, it seems. 14% seems on the higher end, especially for this pool. People generally have like 8%. I don't even know my own stats, but I think like it's also pretty small. The reason mine is on the lower end, and I am fixing it, is first of all, it wasn't 3-betting enough out of the big blind, which is very common. Like if you just click on, do we have a guy with a lot of hands? When we see a guy with a lot of hands on the table, I'll show it. 26k, right? If you look at his big blind 3-bet, 5.4%. Like his general is really low, though, but like you can see, right? We have 26k in the guy, and it's super low. And I'll keep on showing it for a while. 97k, 8.6. You can see it's on the lower end compared to like his other stats. Like when it's a small blind open, he does it 13% of the time, but when it's any other open, he does it. Maybe with a heart, I bluff this. Like an ace is really good for my check back range, though. Like I do want bluffs. But I don't think like 6s without a heart is good for it. I think with a heart I can definitely bet that. Yeah, sure. So in general, people 3-bet out of the big blind just isn't bluff heavy enough. It's just like too value heavy. 3-4 might be a call, I don't know. Easy 3-bet here. Like this right, they 3-bet these hands, which is obviously a clear 3-bet. But then other hands like a 7 off and stuff like that just gets called and they don't 3-bet it. Which is something I'm fixing. I'm trying to work on it as well. Plus on top of that, they just 3-bet too much value anyway, fishing the big blind, so I'm opening. We can look at this guy as well. Again, 6.3, but again, he has like low average. 2 fishes. Pretty passive. Let's open this. Sure. Not really any stats on this guy. Like they seem a bit more aggressive. Although it is a suited king, I'm definitely opening it though. Suited king, there's no way I'm folding. So it is 3-bets. He's on the wider end and he doesn't really fold the 4-bets apparently. Do I fold this or do I peel? It's a small sample on him, right? And what's his range there? Premiums, weak suited connectors, and then like suited kings and so on. So I'm basically dominated a bunch. Yeah, let's fold. Let's squeeze this. We definitely want to isolate against the fish. We just have a strong hands as well. And they both, well, that guy calls. We block like ace 10 suited, jack 10 suited, so we can easily bet. It totally misses both ranges, so... on an ace, like normally I would barrel very often, and I think I am. And then river goes check a lot, right? Pretty ugly river. If I jam, does he call with worse? Probably not. He could have like ace 5 ace. I think if he bets, I'm just folding. Yeah, I'm not sure if he would call with worse. King queen, wow. He definitely has a bluff that hand, wow. Like I'm not against like his floats. Here we have 3-bets. I'm not like that bad against his floats, but like the turn is really good for me. Sure, it gets gut shot, but whatever. And then on the river he has to bluff it. Jack 10, I think I just call. It's too good of a hand. We are deeper as well. Small size. We do have a bunch of backdoors. We do make a pair. I'm not getting it in. Normally if it's like 100 big blinds deep and this is his turn, I'm just getting it in. I can't really fold this turn. He should definitely check on this run out. Like, this board is super good for me. Yeah. We have an easy 3-bet. No, you can see like they're just bluffing and then giving up. I don't know why. Like, I don't mind his play though. But like the board is super scary for him. It's really well connected with my range compared to his. Like, he has a bunch of those ace jack, ace king, ace queen type hands that I have less of. But I have more of these middling cards and lower cards that you saw, like even the pockets, right, compared to him. Let's bring up the hand actually. Why am I talking about it without showing the hand? Like here, pocket fours, right, I have to call. So I have these, but then they don't really 3-bet them. On this board, I think like we can use this bluff later on. But is it going to generate a lot of EV? Probably not, right? People might be sieving there a bit too much, though. I'm going to fold, just in case. Like, yeah, it's a bit tight, but sure. I'm going to check this back once. It is against a small blind fish. Easy call, and then we make the nuts. Like, easy life, right? Not really a card he should like. The king is definitely better for me. He has to hero call with like some queen x stuff. He can definitely have like pocket fives, pocket threes, he's a fish in the small blind, so you never know. I really want to know what he has, but then I lose his hand. Ace queen, wow. As I said, like he definitely has like strong hands. Come on, Jack 10, yeah. So what I was saying here, like this board, like his 3-bet pre-flop is pretty standard, but then this board comes, like all of our air misses. So does mine though, like we both have a bunch of air. And then when he bets, like I'm floating a bunch. As you can see, like Jack 10 with the backdoor connected to the 8, I assume it's gonna be like a call, right? It generally has a bunch of live cards anyway. Like here it hits a 10 and it just makes a pair and it's probably the best hand. Then on the turn, it just misses his range too much. I think on this turn he has to be checking a bunch, which he didn't. I also think his flop sizing might have been a bit too small, actually out of position. Like the average should be like 55 to 60%, I think, on these type of boards where it just misses both ranges. But sure, like it allowed me to call. And then this turn, like it just misses a lot of his air range. Like if he's barreling ace king, which is a really strong hand, he's barreling to off. If he bets small, I have an easy check raise with this hand. I'm still gonna go for the check raise. And now I'm gonna go for check call, I guess. Like I don't see him bluffing though. I think it's just a king in every time. Well, apparently not. Like on a king, he should actually bluff very often. But my general read is that people just aren't. Like he should actually bet there. Like king is super good for his range. So in general, I'm checking a lot there, and he should be betting a lot. But if people aren't doing that, then obviously we aren't checking a lot, but we're gonna start betting because they're just not bluffing, and we're gonna call anyway. So we might as well bet ourselves. But then here, yeah, sorry to go back. So yeah, and then on the river, like the board is super well connected to my range. It totally misses, like none of his air hands have improved, like just brick for him basically. He has to find bluffs in general. Like people are gonna be betting their over pairs there, but they're probably not going to find the right amount of bluffs. I'm not sure actually what they should be bluffing here. I think like Queen Jack suited that look like 10x suited, stuff like that, right? But he might not consider that I'm sure he's check. But he might not consider that I have hands like this. Like I think population in general are folding hands like this on the flop again, even against small size, which is obviously why his small size bet probably works against population. Just fold. Just fold. Actually gonna do something and sit out this session. And I think I've been recording for like half an hour. Yeah, sure. So this should do fine. And I'll also bring up the graph at the end just to see how it's been going. I think here we can just bet. We do have a heart which you can barrel on. Pretty okay card. We do have a heart, but like he definitely has more 6x than I do. And now we actually get there with a flush. So we have an easy value bet. Might have been needed to go bigger though. He called me with a straight, yeah, sure. That's why I said, right, he has more straights, like 6s than I do. I definitely have like a bunch of ace-x, although I might check him a bunch on the flop anyway. So like I think he just connects better on this, like more flushes, more 6x and so on. So it's just check back and try to realize a equity, which we did. Like if I else bet this and he raises me, like what am I gonna do? Just call. Like obviously I would have won a bigger pot, but then if I bet and he calls and then the river comes this, am I really value betting it? Probably not. It's not because we check on the turn that we suddenly lose our opportunity to bluff on later streets. Like if it comes a brick, right, I can still bluff with the jack of hearts. It's not because I check the turn that I can't bluff the river with this hand. Like I am gonna have like some team value with like, well, pocket kings probably not anymore, but like ace king definitely on this river, but like on a blank river. Okay, so let's call the session here. This is the graph basically for today, which is, you know, quite solid. We ran pretty nice, and I hope you guys liked it.